G'day viewers, welcome to the end of another week where we would normally do a Totally Fucked Up Friday
Normally.
And we did the research and quite frankly, this week was too fucked up.
It was just fucked.
Just awful, particularly if you're in Australia. It was just awful stories this week.
What fucking didn't go wrong
this week? And we just thought, you know what, even when we're trying to go for lighter stories, it was still...
Just, come on.
Still this is fucked. So we thought maybe, this is possibly inspired by our mate Phil, aka Dangerously Talented.
Inspired is the right word, I think.
Giving me a bottle of honey mead liqueur.
Fabulous.
Which we may or may not have knocked off before this.
No. Evaporation is a serious problem in Australia.
I think, with our extreme temperatures...
It was 18 degrees
Celsius.
Celsius.
So that probably made some of it evaporate?
A lot. I mean, I'm saying, I was looking at that bottle and there was most of, and then I was looking at it again and there was least of, and I was thinking, that bloody climate change.
That's what it was. It's not that we're rampant alcoholics.
No. It's
climate change.
And I'm on the program, so I'm not drinking at all.
Oh, yeah. We had to straighten someone out on that the other day. Like, does not drinking... does getting off the opioid addiction mean that you shouldn't have anything fun? And we declared,
no,
not really.
That's not right. That's not right.
Not really.
However, one of my doctors does seem to...
Yeah.
Anyway,
you got a doctor
let that go.
Yeah, letting that go. If you've got a fun New Year's Eve party, tell us about it.
Let us know.
Not saying disco biscuits, but...
Not saying that, but... let us know.
Yeah.
There is a comment section.
Yeah.
Speak in code if you want. We're very intelligent. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying we'll be the life of the party and behave badly, but we behave badly is what we're saying.
I've behaved badly before.
Yeah. So that's as may be. We're just essentially whoring ourselves out there, as far as I can tell.
I wouldn't say whoring. I'd say whoring.
Yeah, and I'm just going to go out on a limb here.
We're sex working the fuck out there.
Yeah, I am so not down with people denigrating sex workers. Okay, through the magic of Twitter, I've exposed myself
many times,
literally in some cases. We probably shouldn't have gone there. That was the wrong word. That was the fucking wrong word
I've
to have said.
I've seen him exposed. It's good. Hey, I'm just saying it's good. I'm just, I'm prepared to take anything, but, ladies.
But what I have done is try to learn from people whose life experience is different to mine.
I've got a pretty different one.
Oh, God, yes. That I've tried to really stop learning about your life experience because I don't sleep well at night.
Apparently I've got to stop experiencing or it'll kill me. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's just a thing. But anyway...
This is the person who's trying to get off the gear and the doctor is saying, let's help. If it went wrong and you were going to self-medicate, how would you worthless person, even afford that? And I fucking shit you not, he said to a doctor, crime, robbery, brutality, violence?
Yeah, I did.
Wrong!
I did that. It was kind of a bit quick too. How would you even afford it? A crime? Oh, I've said that now.
Yeah. Those were mouth noises that came out and didn't stay inside my head.
I have a really good censor. Not that day.
Yeah, just slipped. So, just a side divergence there.
Just a thing.
But I was saying, I do actually follow a lot of people on Twitter who are in various aspects of the sex industry, whether they're escorts, work in brothels, do porn, do the webcamming stuff. And I've really, we do lots of meetups with the YouTubers, and someone come up to me and they were a bit giggly about it, like, someone messaged me saying, stay away from you because you're friends with porn stars. And I went, why would you stay away with me because I'm friends with porn stars?
Yes. Be aware.
I'm just trying to put... And it goes beyond that. It also goes
Not a porn star himself. I was in porn once accidentally. That's a story. But be afraid of him because he knows porn stars.
And the weirdest thing is that, with AIDzee, that's not a euphemism because he wouldn't shy away from deliberately being in porn.
No.
It was just, he didn't really plan it and it happened
just sort of
anyway.
Happened. It just sort of, happened, It was good. Oh,
yeah.
Well, for a little while it wasn't good. But, I got paid. Come on.
But, I am friends with some people who are actually quite militant workers in the sex industry. It's interesting. And also, people around the world from different countries are people of colour, people who have basically different experiences. And a big thing I try and do is when they say something that's kind of all-encompassing, like all men are shit, or all white people are shit, I don't bite back. I don't say, hey, I'm not like that. Because you get them when you stop speaking and you listen.
There's that shit that happens, right?
You realise other people go through shit you don't.
Hang on. I'm a white middle class man. I used to be. Used to be a white middle class man, and my experience is one and only and entitled. I don't know about this listening to people who are different to me. I think they should be stopping boats.
Yeah, so even when I have the initial impulse to arc up about something someone says and goes, oh, hey, wait a minute, I realise they've got 1,000 people arcing up at them and they don't need me doing it. So I just sit and listen and go, that's interesting. And you learn interesting shit. Namely, if you're a guy and you feel a little troubled about some of the stuff feminists say, you feel they're a bit too far, they're saying too aggressive things to men, what I have learned is black feminists quite regularly think that about white feminists. It's very interesting to see when you slice things up and look at the intersections of various things, gender, sexuality, race, culture, different sort of socio-economic strands. Nothing's black and white.
No.
There are all these things where you think you're on my side and you're not, and you fucking learn interesting shit. My favourite thing, because you'll want to hear about sex, don't you? You don't really want to hear about race politics. You want to hear about the fact that I'm Twitter friends.
When a man and a piece of latex love each other very, very much.
So long as they have a lot of baby powder, everything's going to be fine.
Oh, I was going to say olive oil.
Well, see, that's a completely different dynamic, I guess.
That's a different culture. It's a different culture, let it go.
The powder lets you get your gimp suit on and off easily. The oil makes it just sort of slide around like a second skin. Yeah, but you can get a bit stuck.
You can, and you need a shower before. You need 2 showers. It's a thing, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were saying?
I was saying, one of my favourite things I learned was an insult, essentially, from a Twitter friend who's a sex worker. And she, while being very militant about her own rights in a lot of things, you would think you're clearly a feminist because of your militant rights. She has a problem with virtually everyone who brands themselves as a feminist because she feels like they throw sex workers under the bus. But what she's got so shitty about people criticising the choices she's made in life, because when she points out that in terms of sexually transmitted diseases, the rate is higher in the general population than in the sex worker population. The terms, you get all these issues that everyone thinks they're worse with sex workers, but they're actually really bad in the general population. And also, just in terms of how many people you fuck, she calls non-sex workers volleys, which is short for voluntary fucking all these dudes. And because as she gets down on volleys not using condoms because they think they don't have to. And she's saying,
yeah, don't do that.
I might suck 10 dicks in a night, but there's always a condom. I might fuck this many guys a week, but there's always a condom. Volleys are out there fucking guys every other weekend without condoms. And that's where but personally, my favourite was learning the term volley as an insult.
I like volley.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's like voluntarily giving it up to guys who are probably filthy and ridden with diseases.
Yeah, and I've done that.
Yeah.
I've done that. But, $20 is $20.
Yeah. And
not militant, just, sometimes a man has a powerful need.
Oh, and this is... See, you guys are out there watching this, and some people go, oh, you guys just said whatever. No, with both of us, our internal censor works overtime. So anytime you watch a video from us, it goes, those guys are crazy, and say anything, you've just got to imagine, A, the shit that's going on in my head, which is 100 times, and B, the shit that we said to each other before we shot the video, where we've gone, we could do that, and then we could top, and then we could twist, and then we'd be in jail. Let's not do that.
No, let's not say that. Yeah, because there was that thing that we did that time that we never got caught for.
Oh, yeah, and right. It's like, you know, and I remember reading a thing about a poet, can't even remember his name, an English poet, that there's virtually nothing known about him in the biographical sense, because he insisted anyone who knew him burnt any correspondence.
Oh, I know this guy.
He wanted his poetry to be judged with no framing around it. Just look at the words and say what you think. And because one of the few letters that survived, because he's renowned as being very progressive for his time, particularly around matters of race, but there was a letter to a friend where he joked in a very, what appears to be a very racist way about black people at cricket matches.
Yes.
And it's the thing, when it's down there in black and white, you don't know the context, you don't know how much these guys just try to gross each other out.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty fucking shrewd move. And we just have to censor that stuff out before it ever gets out of our head holes.
Yeah, that's important to do.
Yeah.
My friend helps me with that often. Sometimes you don't get to see the video that we actually made because my friend says, that thing that just came out of your head hole will stop me having a family.
I think I've posted one once where it went to black for a bit and goes, there's about 2 minutes of stuff here that you are never going to see.
It's never going to happen.
Because it's fucked. You know? And
we did it.
And we did it and we said it.
You know.
We were at one point going to make a secret YouTube channel that we never admitted to, where we did voice modulation and silhouettes on everything, and it was going to be called The Mayors of Wrongtown.
Yeah, but then we figured IP addresses.
Someone would eventually find out who's that person making jokes about how an Irish accent is so charming, he can stab someone and then rape the stab wounds in their bodies and still be regarded as charming.
Ho, ho, ho. And
we would be found out for saying that.
Yeah,
so.
you know, and that was the more mild end.
And that's because I'm willing to say that. If I'm willing to say that was one of the things that we came up with.
Imagine where it was going.
The rest was worse, okay?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is we're not very nice people when it comes down to it.
Not often.
Not often. So
we have done charitable things.
Yeah. But behind closed doors, and basically you have to...
You don't want to be behind closed doors with us. There's charges.
Unless you want to, and that means inviting us to your New Year's Eve party where you're providing free booze and disco biscuits. So,
you'd be amazed how pleasant we could be.
Well, or not. Maybe you were one of those people who tuned in to a live stream we did one New Year's Eve that lasted for about 10 hours.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. And there's some stuff that you know that's on tape. And, you know, you just go, oh, I said that then, didn't I? Well, I guess I came out to my parents.
One of those bits where fucking... Girling, who's been in one or two videos, insisted on being massaged, and someone comes in while shirtless, oiled up. Girling's being massaged by me, and someone's going, "What are you doing? You fax or something?" Hey, if I'm rubbing oil all over my naked friend and that makes me gay, well, what kind of world is this?
Yeah, I remember that.
It was about 4 a.m. I
remember too. At about 5:30, I actually passed out, and then at 7:30, I woke up. And I saw a comment, "Oh, this is dumb. I'm just watching a guy sleep and piss himself."
You wouldn't move. For 2 hours you were unconscious.
which was real.
And people are saying things like, "Is AIDzee dead?" And I'm going, "Probably, it happens."
You know, he chucks a coma every 6 months. We never know.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. You know, and I've just gone. I woke up in the morning going, what?
And this was out in one of the more further flung suburbs of Melbourne that has lots of wildlife. So at dawn, when all the birds came out, you staggered out onto the roof to abuse the birds for being too noisy, and then fell asleep on the roof.
Oh yeah, that's how that happened.
Yeah,
yeah. I did that again.
Yeah,
yeah. I woke up on the roof and my flatmates didn't know where I was and they thought I'd gone out. And then I was on the roof screaming at birds and they said, "So, AIDzee, you're on the roof." I went, "Yeah." And I went, "You naked?" "Oh, yeah." "How long have you been on the roof?" I don't know. "You've got a sunburnt back." "Oh, all right. Do you want to get down?" "Yeah." "Do you know how to?" "No." Yeah, it was different days.
So all we're saying is if you invite us to your New Year's Eve party,
different days.
It'll be special. Okay, look, and honestly, that's it. Look, we seriously just want... This week has been so fucked.
Fucking
we needed
awful.
to ignore all the shit. And you got to do that occasionally. Just cleanse the brain and go, you know what? We seriously have had confirmation humans are fucked.
In a real way.
You know, why don't we just get hit by an asteroid and let the cockroaches start again in 20 million years?
You know, but you know they'll start a green party.
Yeah. So, look, I hope we just diverted you from how shit life is, which we like to do occasionally.
Do you think I'm pretty?
Oh, so pretty.
Because a kid said yesterday to me, "You're not pretty." And I'm going, stand the fuck back, slow the fuck down, and get hello. And I've braced this child.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm looking at him and thinking, you know, how would a teenager address me like that? And I'm this 5-year-old maybe, and I'm going, "Why don't you think I'm pretty?" And he said, because you've got hairs in your nose that are grey. And I'm going, "How would you know that?" And I'm looking at him, he's looking up. And I'm going, right, I think I'm a bit pretty. Even though I've lost most of my teeth and I'm on a program, I think that I could be pretty. Maybe it's a cry for help. But I think there's some prettiness about me. And I think this 5-year-old can go fuck itself.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Fucking kids. Who needs them, right?
Really?
Little bastards.
Looking forward to a new arrival from a friend of ours, actually.
Oh, yeah, actually.
Very exciting.
Yeah, so we won't denigrate babies around him.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
But this 5-year-old, fucking, hey, mothers, breeding. Learn some friggin' manners in your child.
Yeah.
Or some of my past will come out. Just saying.
Yeah. So, you know, consider yourself duly warned, and we'll see you again soon. Bye now.
See ya.